Good morning, everyone. Good to see you guys. It's Friday, the first Friday of every month. I'm Carl Bishop, Chris Mott's birthday boy here today, just celebrating his birthday. And we got Vincent Hu with us as well, goes by Vince, with Sushi Hana and the TBT basketball tournament coming up. We're really excited to tell you guys about. And so, yeah, welcome to our May edition. I can't believe we're already in May. Man, how quickly is this year passing us by? It's insane. Everybody's been going crazy with Fiesta.
Yep.
We got the mayoral race tomorrow that ends. So if you haven't voted for mayor yet, get your butt out there and vote quick before you don't have a chance to anymore. I'm a little ashamed to say I haven't voted yet, but I'm going tomorrow. I'm going tomorrow. I'm gonna get it in. And so we're here at the POKI Bowl on Petrenko, kind of right by 151. You guys may have heard that we acquired this restaurant about a month ago. It's been almost exactly a month since we acquired it. And so it's been a great first month, I gotta say. I mean, got to know the staff members, got to know the area a little bit. And I mean, I've been pretty pleased so far. What do you think, Chris? POKI Bowl first month.
Yeah, it's been an awesome start to an incredible journey. Got to know staff. We got an all-star team here. Great location right off Petrenko Road. We've done some up the marketing efforts, which has been good, which is awesome, which is really good. But if you haven't tried us out, come in, step up, come out to POKI Bowl San Antonio and try us out. We're right around the neighborhood from the military base. Got a high school out here as well, so come check us out.
Yeah, come check us out. And one of the things we do when we take over a business is first we analyze. I say the first month is analyzing the culture, the quality of the product, the employees, the location. I mean, it's a lot of analytical work in the first 30, even 60 days. And I gotta say, in the first 30 days, I mean, we've got some incredible employees. I mean, the area is bustling and busy. And so, I mean, I've seen green flag after green flag after green flag, and so we're really excited for the next 30 days. But it's also great to have Vince with us today because most people that are watching this show may have heard of Sushi Hana or probably have been going there over the years. Sushi Hana was rated and voted as the #1 Japanese restaurant in San Antonio. Was that recently, right, Vince?
Yes, sir. San Antonio Express News vote. Very humbled and honored to be selected. There's a lot of great candidates out there, and it's a tough industry, but it's the people industry, and you gotta have a consistent product. And we're just happy to be able to serve the community and thankful for the last 3-4 decades of our family having establishments here in San Antonio.
It's such an incredible restaurant. I remember actually 20 years ago, I first started going to Sushi Hana. My kid's mom, she loved the place. Matter of fact, we'd go there for like special events and you'd have to, call ahead of time. I mean, it is one of those spots where special occasion, take a date. It's right there in Castle Hills. It's beautiful. And so who would have thought 20 years later, I'd be sitting down with the guy that was pulling all the strings and helping make it happen. And so I'm really excited to talk to you about the business, the restaurant business. I think we all can kind of relate to the restaurant business, and it's one of my favorite businesses to talk to people about is because everybody has to eat. And so a lot of us, and a lot of people out there, when they're thinking about getting into business, the restaurant is the first thing that comes to mind. Yeah. I'll open up, whatever food it is that I like the most, that's the restaurant I used to, even with my kids, we talk about opening up an Italian restaurant one day, But I will tell you, with working with restaurateurs over the years, and I had the privilege of working with the Schlotsky's franchise owners, the owner of Nietzsche's, the three highly successful restaurateurs are some of the most hardest working entrepreneurs I know. They put in more hours and are more dedicated and intentional and disciplined than any of the other entrepreneurs that I come across. I mean, me in real estate, that's a tough business as well. But I have an all-time high respect-wise for restaurateurs. It's just a tough business. You got a lot of employees, you got food costs, high costs, and to manage all of that, it can be incredibly challenging. And so I'm super excited to talk to you about how You saw Sushi Hana become successful over the years. I'm sure Chris has a bunch of questions for you as well. But how did it get started? I mean, let's start off at the beginning. Your parents got it started, right?
My parents, my grandparents, my
Okay.
uncle, they started the restaurants when they came here to San Antonio in the early 90s when I was born. And basically just grandma's recipes and Taiwanese, Chinese immigrant family, didn't have any education, money, network, or experience. Just opened a restaurant, worked hard, treated people well, and fast forward, we're here in 2025 and we're still kicking and screaming, but it's been a wild journey. I've seen it just growing up, running around the restaurant as a kid, and then after college, stepping into it. I definitely understand and appreciate how much hard work goes into it, but it's a team effort. You need the community, you need the employees, and then you, of course, you need to be there every day. Can't do restaurants remotely, and no matter what happens, you have to open at 11 and close at 9, and all the people that walk in, you have to take care of them, whether you have people show up or not show up, or you have ice machine issues, or you have AC issues, or you need to do a lot of ribeyes at night, and then your grill stops working or your fryer stops working. You got to find ways to make it happen. It's a crazy industry.
It's wild. It's wild. You know, over the years, I'm sure you've had a lot of challenges. I know my mother's a real estate investor, and she's one of the most challenging people to work with. Mom, if you're listening to this, you know, she is a very difficult person to work with in the real estate business. But that's one of the reasons why she's so, exactly. And so being a kid, I used to think I had the worst life ever because, you know, I was in these investment homes like sweeping floors and painting walls, and, you know, I was thinking like, man, this is the worst life. But as I grew up, I realized that she was teaching me things, and and my mother's also an immigrant. She's from Peru. And so I'm so grateful for her, and people hear me talk about her all the time. She is the original American entrepreneur, even though she's from Peru, you know? So that immigrant edge that Brian Buffini calls it, you know, immigrants typically work harder. Typically they see opportunity that a lot of folks that have been here for generations don't see. So it's a real blessing and advantage at times. It certainly has been in our family, and me as a second generation immigrant. I learned those values of hard work. So talk about that a little bit, Vince. Like how was that growing up, you know, in that element? I mean, did you think that you would eventually continue to take over the business? Is that something that you still enjoy to this day?
Great question. So growing up, running around the restaurants, not understanding what it takes, the dream is always to take over or to have your own restaurant. And then when you grow up, you realize that is not something you really want to do.
Yeah.
But growing up, Dad put me as a busboy the moment I could start working.
Yeah.
I remember I was doing delivery in Stone Oak when it was still a new neighborhood before GPS came out, so it was just maps. No smartphones.
They get the paper ones.
Right, and so a lot of times, actually when GPS came out, a lot of those Stone Oak neighborhoods didn't even pull up because they were so brand new. But really just working hard and showing up every day and just seeing my immigrant family, they had no choice. Yeah. For them, it was survival. For me, they put me through college, my sister and my cousins through college, through hard work. So now we do have a choice. But it's been a remarkable journey, and being able to see my grandparents, my dad, my uncles, and how well they speak English now and how many people they know in San Antonio. But it's all about relationships and doing your best and treating people right.
Right.
Vince, and if you have never met Vince, Vince is he's filled with humility. He's one of the most humble guys that I know with the success that he has, and he's sitting here with us today. And you've talked about your grandparents started Sushi Hana back in the 90s, so you've been through some big world events, 2000 going into the collapse of 2008, and then COVID, and you're still here and you're still thriving, and you still receive all these prestigious awards, which is incredible. What have been some of the biggest lessons you've seen growing up through it and now having a part in the management team now that you've learned?
One is taking care of your people. I know it was very difficult during COVID. A lot of restaurants didn't make it. You go from a restaurant where you're serving really nice salmon, ribeyes, and you do takeout only. You don't really want your product to be in a styrofoam container.
Yeah.
But we had to do what we had to do to make sure our guests had a place to eat. But we also had to do what we had to do to make sure our employees had a place to work. We did whatever we could to retain them, just because we knew that whenever the pandemic was over, they would have to have a place to work, and we wanted to make sure that their families could take care of their kids and pay for bills. And so really, it was a loyalty thing. And I think just doing the right thing, treating people the right way, and then whether you have recessions or whatever it may be, we opened before sushi was even popular. I remember when we first opened, the first 3, 4, 5 years, like we had an empty restaurant because people didn't believe in America that you would eat raw fish.
Yeah.
Now there's a sushi restaurant in every corner.
Oh my gosh, that's so true.
So if you think about it, when Sushi Hana opened, I'm sure you remember some nights might have been busy, but some nights you might have walked in and got your food immediately.
It wasn't like it is now, for sure. You know what's crazy, and it's so true. And I even, when we took over the POKI Bowl, now it's almost like a natural thing. I ask almost everybody I come in contact with, have you had poke before? And in San Antonio, it's about 50-50.
Yeah.
Half the people are like, no, what's that?
Right.
And the other half is, oh, I love it, And then the people that say, oh, what's that? I'm saying, oh, it's like sushi kind of, but in a bowl. And then they come back and say, oh, yeah, I've tried sushi before and I either like it or don't like it, So it still is kind of growing. It's way more than it used to be. Yeah. But I mean, that's a great point. I hadn't really thought about that much 20 years ago. I mean, rarely, a lot less people ate sushi. And there was actually some concerns that it was raw fish and that it wouldn't be safe, Mm-hmm. And so you guys grew with that. That's awesome.
Yeah, I was introduced to sushi. I grew up in Busan, South Korea. At a very young age, around 11, I got introduced to sushi. And so when I came back to the States, it was one of the delicacies that I looked for in restaurants that we went to. And when Carl and I acquired POKI Bowl San Antonio, one of the things that we did was we brought Vince in as a kind of an advisor, since he's seen the industry shifts and he has the wisdom and the knowledge. So we brought him in and had him taste it, check out the restaurant, and just kind of learn from his inside of experience through what we can learn and gain here at POKI Bowl San Antonio. And so we appreciate you taking time and coming and helping us thrive here and jumping on the podcast this morning, Vince.
Absolutely. I love it. It's a great location, very clean, very friendly, very, very generous portion sizes, which nowadays you usually don't get the bang for your buck, but this place, you can get 2 meals out of your bowl. Yeah. And so if you're a couple, that's dinner between the two of y'all. Oh, yeah. It's fantastic. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, it's a really cool concept, and I know for us, and of course we certainly appreciate. I've known Vince only for a couple of months, but I mean, absolute heart of gold. Just super relational, and it's just been a privilege talking to you. We're going to talk a little bit about the basketball tournament here, which is a big thing that we're really excited to work with Vince on. But before we get into that, I want to touch just a little bit more on the restaurant business. We got the guys in the background here. You guys may hear them. They're making some bowls for us. We're going to bring some of those out here so you can take a look at the POKI Bowl. But in Sushi Hana, one of the things that I run into with a lot of restaurateurs is they get good at something, and then it's like, okay, how do we reproduce this? Like, how do we do this again? How do we expand? How do we grow? And some come to the conclusion, like, it makes sense to not grow. Like, let's keep doing this well. But a lot of people say, how do we scale? Like, how do we open a second location, third location? And I'm going to be completely honest with you. I've failed every time I've tried to do this. And in real estate, I pushed into Austin a decade ago, got my butt kicked out there, came back to San Antonio, tail between my legs. Then I said, you know what, I'm going to push into the valley. I did the valley and then South Padre Island. I was like, this is a great little area. Got my butt kicked there. And then most recently, I pushed into Houston, and the Fed decided to hike the rate in 2022. And so once again, came back to San Antonio, all the while having my San Antonio operation still going and still producing, having ups and downs with that. But each time, it was such a painful process. And a lot of people that were coaching me at the time were like, don't do it. And I'm kind of stubborn, you know? But I'm learning, maybe it wasn't the right time. And so Sushi Hana's had a fantastic, brand. And I mean, you got number one in San Antonio. I'm sure discussions have come up over the years with you and your family. And why have you guys decided to stay in one location? What has kept you from scaling into another location or even franchising, as some people do? Has that ever been a discussion?
I know, excuse me, I know my family has been approached many times to open a Sushi Hana somewhere else in San Antonio, down in the valley. But if you think about it, you have a team that works really well together. And if it's 100% of your dream team in one location, and then you're thinking about opening another location, it's going to be 50% of your dream team here, 50% of your dream team here. You're not going to get 100% of the same product or consistency that you would like if you're spread thin. Of course, you can train people to do recipes and management and run operations, but I just think my dad and my uncles, they got too old and too stressed out from the last 30, 40 decades. And it's very, very stressful and very difficult and very, very hard on your body, your marriage, and everything, because you're with your employees and at your restaurant more than you are with your families. Yeah. And so it's a sacrifice. And I think if my family knew what they knew now, they would never get into the restaurant business. But the thing is, in the 80s and 90s when they came to the States, they had no choice.
They had no choice.
So that's why I got out. No, I still work there part-time, but after 12 years and having my daughters, I realized I'm not going to be very present in their lives if I keep doing this road, working at the restaurant 13 hours a day, 5, 6, 7 days a week.
Yeah, it's
so
too much.
It's tough, but it's a very rewarding industry, business, when you can have people come in for generations and you get to know their families and then you become family with them. And the same with your employees. Like, there were employees that were with us when I was just learning how to walk. Now I'm working with the same guys 20, 25 years later. Pretty crazy.
That's awesome.
It's incredible.
It brings up a great point, stress. Now, we've talked about stress in previous episodes, but I think one of the key traits of an entrepreneur is your ability to handle stress and handle stress in a healthy fashion. And so we wanted to talk a little bit about health and wellness in this episode. And I know me personally, over the years, I did not handle stress well. And one of the things we see with new agents that come into the business, almost within their first year or two, they gain like 30, 40 pounds. You heard the freshman 15? Yeah. We call it the real estate 40. I mean, they just get big and like
real estate 40.
The real estate 40. And it's crazy because it's a stressful business. You don't get paid unless you sell, and then you're selling houses. So there's a lot of stress involved with it. And so one of the natural unhealthy ways of mitigating stress is eating food. Now, there's lots of other ones that are terrible too. Alcohol, we've talked about alcohol, drugs, bad relationships, all sorts of stuff. And so this podcast is about being real, and it's like, we want to give you guys, if you're watching this, you're an entrepreneur, and maybe you're going through some stressful situations as well. And so my question to you, Vince, is how do you handle stress? And how have you mitigated that over the years?
Biggest thing is to know your why. Like, why do you wake up every day, go to work, mop the floors, Windex the windows, get the restaurant ready? The why is because you want to provide for your family. You want to provide for a great place for people to come enjoy their meals with their coworkers, date night, with their kids, and then of course want to have a place where people can look forward to working and growing and developing, and then being able to pay their bills, and then also being able to do it part-time while they're going to school, or just really providing a place where everybody can come together and have a great experience. And so knowing your why is very important, because if you don't have passion for it and you don't love it and you don't want to be the best version of yourself every day, you're going to get burnt out.
Burnt out.
So just knowing your why.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Have a strong why.
Why? Yeah.
And that'll help you persevere through some of the stress. Chris, what do you think? What do you do when you get in some, how do you handle that stress at this stage of your life?
Yeah, so stress it used to play a big part in my life for many, many years. And I've learned when I get stressed, it's part of life, right? But the things that I can control how I feel. And when I'm in a dark place or in my head's cloudy, typically what I like to do is I'll go, when my mental health is stressed out, I'll go work on my physical strength. I'll get into a gym, I'll get a sweat. And when I seem to do that, when I go get a workout in, I'll come back typically after that workout refreshed. Yeah, so when I'm in a mental state where I'm just not 100% upright, I typically find that it's time for me to pause. And there's some breathing exercise that I do, some meditation. But getting a workout, getting my physical strength, body a workout is where I find my peace. Typically when I come back, I'm refreshed. Another thing that really has helped me with my stress is sleep, where I was always on the go, grind, give 100% every day. And I wasn't getting enough sleep. I was averaging maybe 3 to 5 hours of sleep a night, and that was not enough, and my body physically was feeling it. And now when I sleep, I try to get that 7.5 to 9 hours of sleep every single night. I'm the guy on Friday nights that used to go out and live for the lifestyle, and on Friday nights now, I'm in bed by 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, so I can get up and enjoy my Saturdays, getting that 9 hours of REM sleep, so I'm refreshed. Typically, that's why I have stress-free weekends.
That is so good. So two great thoughts there. Have a strong why, get to the gym, get a good sweat in, and get some good rest on a regular basis. And I will say, if you have some toxic, managing techniques in place for stress, take a look at those, and figure out what you need to do. I had an entrepreneur call me today, and you and I both know him. I won't mention his name, but he called me and he said, Carl, I'm ready to stop drinking. And I said, what's going on? He says, man, I had too much last night. I made a fool of myself, and I'm just ready I've had enough, And I'm like, I was so grateful to God that he came to me and asked me that, because he's seen my journey in sobriety that I'm almost next week, God willing, 10 months without a drop of alcohol. I've been talking to him. He's also an entrepreneur, owns his own business. You know him. And he has a lot of stress, and his stress is going out. We're in a business where everybody wants to go out and network, and there's always alcohol there. And so he called me and he's like, man, what do I need to do? Yeah. And it almost reminded me of when I called you and asked you the same question, And what a blessing that was that you were in my life, and I knew that you had success against that. And I could go to you and say, hey man, I've had enough. Like, how do I tackle this thing? And so that's what I want to tell to anybody that's listening to this. We're here for you. If you have something that you're trying to change, that's the essence of what we are here. We're here to help. And so call us, let us know. These days, the way I handle stress, and I still have a lot of stress. Matter of fact, I called you from Hebronville the other day. I got stranded in the middle of nowhere, Texas. Probably one of the more stressful places I've been in a while. Very well. Yeah, I was super stressed. But I was just like, I like to give it to God. I like to just take a step back, shut my phone off, go for a walk. Sometimes that might be a whole afternoon where I'm just kind of walking around a place and just talking to God the whole time, And for me, if I have other things, emails that I'm trying to get back to, text messages and things like that, it's just going to pack on the stress. And I can't do it. I have to disconnect. I haven't got to where they're doing the gym quite yet. I have been able to manage some better eating habits, and we're going to talk about that a little bit with the POKI Bowl. But for me, I just have to disconnect and go on a walk. There you go. I got to go on a walk, get some sunshine, get some fresh air, listen to the birds chirp, and get some meditation, and that's worked for me.
These different methods work for different people. I mean, it's just how you handle it. And so you got to find out what works for you. Another thing that really works for me, if you look it up, it's called a serenity prayer, and it's one of the prayers that I say every single day. But look that prayer up, and that's one of the things that's really helped me as well.
Yes, sir. I said that this morning. And so, healthy eating habits. Let's talk about that briefly, because they're going to bring out some bowls for us here shortly. And I think, you even hear about it in the industry, which is comfort food, which is, you know what, I'm uncomfortable, I'm stressed out, let me go get some comfort food. And all the comfort food items out there, pizza, fried chicken, I mean, pan de dulce, you know what I mean? That stuff will kill you.
It's just not really good for you.
Yeah. And so, I love that we have a business that offers a healthy product that's still delicious. And so many times what they say is when you're trying to replace a habit, understand what your trigger is. I'm stressed out, I'm getting hungry, trigger, now replace it. Rather than go to Kentucky Fried Chicken, I'm gonna stop by and get a bowl of POKI or a salad or, even Subway or something like that. It's just a lot better for you. And sometimes you don't think, it's not gonna taste as good, or maybe your mind's already in a mode. But again, you go to the fried chicken and that'll almost kill you faster than some of this other stuff will.
I think another thing is when you're making healthy choices, right, where you talked about the comfort foods, and we all love comfort foods, don't get me wrong. But personally, like when I have some comfort food, whether it's like pancakes or something that I really admire and I eat it, what happens is that remorse, that regret afterwards, right? What did I just do? It adds to the stress. It's already a stressful situation. Right. So you can transition by picking something a little healthier, POKI, sushi, something a little lighter, getting the fuel that you need, but then not feeling so stressed or guilty that you just ate a whole bunch of extra calories and unsaturated fats.
On Sundays, I call Chris and he's meal prepping for the week, and I'm not there yet, but I always massive amounts of respect for that meal prepping that you do Sundays, right? Sunday afternoon, you're cooking for the week.
Yeah, man.
It's such a good thing. Oh my gosh, yeah, that's impressive.
Starts the week off right.
So get with Chris for some meal prepping ideas. I'm not quite there yet, but okay. So they're going to bring out some POKI, some bowls for us here in just a moment. I want to talk about TBT, the basketball tournament. Vince, if you follow him, I mean, you know, like everybody in the basketball industry. I was so impressed because he was around like all the Spurs, and they were picking up the rookie. What is the Castle? Just won rookie a year, right?
I mean, he's humble beyond words, and yeah, he's very, very well connected in not just the basketball space, the sports just overall, just in sports overall. And he has a very interesting story, Vince, and I want you to share a little bit about how you kind of got involved and where you are today, because you're GM of Austin's Own, which we're going to talk about here with the TBT. You're the general manager, but talk about how you kind of came to be who you are today with that journey after Sushiana, going to UT, and the story that you shared with me.
Sure. Went to Clark High School, played football there. Grew up a big Spurs fan. I'm born and raised in San Antonio, so blessed to be able to say I saw 5 championships at a very young age. And then worked for the men's basketball team at the University of Texas under Rick Barnes, who's doing an amazing job at Tennessee right now. But just had work ethic, good with relationships, good with communicating. Graduated and then didn't know what I wanted to do, so went straight to the restaurant business for 12 years. And then just there, you know, the Spurs had drafted or signed a couple of Spurs or Longhorn players that I had known. Just kept in touch with a lot of my friends that were coaching or playing in the NBA or around the world, and just always wanting to see them when they came in town to play the Spurs. It wasn't very important to go see them at the Spurs game. It was more important to catch up, see them after the game, or even try to grab a meal before the game. Because for me, you know, being able to catch up with guys that you've seen go from 18-year-olds to 13-year NBA vets that are parents that are very, very good in the community, it's always great to be able to see these guys, because if you're in the Eastern Conference, that's only one trip to San Antonio per year. And then when it's with COVID and stuff like that, sometimes trips get canceled, or they're hurt and they are rehabbing and they don't make it. So sometimes you'll go 2, 3, 4, 5 years without seeing some guys in person. But really it's just relationships and just, you know, being a great person and always adding value and seeing how you could help them, but just really catching up and genuinely seeing how their family is.
And how did you obtain the role of general manager
So TBT is a 64-team $1 million prize tournament every July. It's in its 12th year. It's actually co-owned by Chris Paul, and I think majority, or at least 50-60% of the teams are alumni teams. Yeah. You'll have Kansas, Kansas State, Ohio State, Syracuse, Missouri, a lot of top basketball schools that have teams. And I got kind of tired watching from the sidelines and seeing that Texas didn't have a team. So I reached out to TBT and said, hey, we would love to get a Texas Longhorn alumni team out there. And that was 2 years ago. So we're entering year 3. This July, we're going to be in Wichita at the Wichita State Regional. And it's really cool. It's always a blessing when you can represent the burnt orange and white and have some former players and free agents represent the school, give them opportunities to be seen fresh after summer league, to get some good exposure, to maybe see if they could get picked up by a team or get some better contracts overseas. But it's been a blessing, but it's been a lot of work, but it's always, for me, always about bringing people together.
Yeah. That's a good question to ask, because I think when people get around famous people, get super nervous. I mean, I remember one time I waited tables on Tim Duncan at the Cheesecake Factory. He had just won the championship. Yeah. I was like super nervous around him. I didn't know what to say or how to say it or whatever. Like, how do you handle that, Vince? Because you just hang with all these guys all the time. You know,
I've been with Vince in those situations.
You do too. Like you're around a lot of famous people too. Like, how do you guys handle yourselves?
Who Vince is right here, sitting right here. He's the same guy. He's around whoever, and so that's the incredible thing about the gentleman that's sitting right here. He's the same humble guy, and I think humility probably is one of the basis on the success that you've had.
Well, these guys might be some of the best athletes in the world, most recognizable people. But they're just regular dudes, and they just want to be treated like regular dudes. They don't want you telling them how great they are or how you grew up with their poster on your wall. Of course, they love compliments, but they want to just act normal. They want to be able to enjoy their meal, enjoy church, enjoy company with their guys and their friends, and really just having a conversation about non-basketball stuff or non-football stuff, really getting to know them as a person, because honestly, most of them probably want to get to know you as a person, but it's all about the approach. They get approached by thousands of people every day, whether it's in person, through their management, through their agent, through social media, and they just want to live a normal life.
That's cool. I like that. So just kind of bring it down a notch, right? Don't get so excited. But well, that's great. So TBT tournament starts. When are the dates?
We have training camp July 13th through 17th. In that case, after that, we're going to bus to Wichita. We play our first game on the 18th. Okay. It's a single elimination tournament. And so you lose, you go home, you win, you play again. So.
And Vince, I think you touched on this earlier. So the winner of the TBT tournament each and every year, the team wins $1 million. So they're playing for $1 million prize, which is split up throughout the team. So, I mean, it's a really nice sum of money for these players that may not be in the NBA, that have played in the developmental league or overseas. They're looking to prove themselves. And there's been some really good, solid pros that come and play in TBT over the years. Talk about some of those few players that have been in the league.
Great question. First off, I think nowadays every TBT tournament averages at least 70 former players with NBA experience. I've had the privilege of having my friends like Jordan Hamilton, who played 7 years, play on our team our first year. And then there are some teams like Kentucky that have 4 or 5, maybe even 6. You'll have like Rondo as an assistant coach, and you'll have Willie Cauley-Stein, the Harrison twins, Eric Bledsoe, and they're playing against a team like Louisville that has Montrezl Harrell and
these are all NBA lottery picks.
And then Peyton Siva and Russ Smith, and then you look over there, and then you have a UConn team, an Ohio State team with Jared Solinger, who hit the game winner. And then we had the pleasure to play the U of H team last year, and you look at their team, they're all 10 years younger than our players. They went to a Final Four probably 5-6 years ago. And if you look at this year's Final Four national championship game, that U of H program is on a roll. Coach Sampson has been doing a great job.
Incredible.
And we're 0-1 twice. So I guess we're 0-2 in the first round in TBT.
Yeah.
Looking to get our first couple wins this year, but
That's gonna be this year. This year, baby.
But
Come on.
last year went to the Fertitta Center, played the U of H alumni team at their place in the first round. They lost by 3 to Ohio State in the championship game. So
That was a tough one. That was a tough one.
they had great sportsmanship. They're a great host. You know, they're I wouldn't say in-state rival because they've been dominating the state and really the region for a decade plus. But really cool to see just TBT and teams and alumni coming together, and we're just a small part of it. But nowadays, there's some international teams that are joining the fold. There's a team out of Europe that's doing it. And then next year, hopefully we could get a team from the Philippines, maybe one from Taipei, Taiwan. But it's become a global tournament, and you can stream it free around the world. So great exposure, but who doesn't love basketball in the middle of summer? So
Yeah, it's the best.
And it's great because it's as Vince mentioned, it's that period in between. It's right after Summer League. It's correct, right after Summer League and before the NBA season starts. It's right before the NFL season starts. So primarily you just have baseball going on in that time, and it's called the kind of the dark days in sports. And so it draws a lot of national attention, and Carl and I have been honored to kind of partner up with you to help you with this momentum on going into the next season. And if you guys are watching, or if anybody is interested in becoming a part with sponsorship options, I know Vince is actively looking for a few additional partners. And so if you want to talk on that a little bit, Vince.
Sure. TT is great because you have an opportunity to put your personal or your company logo on the jerseys, the game uniforms, the shorts, even the coaches' polos and the shooting shirts that the players wear on the bench and during the warm-ups. What's been really cool is just being able to collaborate with companies and friends and getting an opportunity to put their logos on and having fun with it. If you're a basketball fan, and even if you're a Longhorn fan, it's a great opportunity because sponsors, we do get to put them and their kids on the game bench. You can hand out waters and be in the locker room. If we're down 10 at halftime, you get to see the real emotion.
That's awesome.
And then during timeouts, you can see coaches and players coaching each other up and drawing plays. And so I feel like there aren't that many opportunities where you can be a part of a team. Of course, you could buy floor seats and go to Spurs games and stuff like that, but to be able to be on the bench, in the locker room, on the team bus, team meals, training camp, that's why I do it. It's a fun opportunity for everybody.
It's incredible.
It's great for networking.
Yeah.
TJ Ford, Texas legend, he let us use his gym in Houston for training camp last year. Coach Sean Miller, the new Texas head basketball coach, he's had great TBT teams at Xavier, and he embraces it because he knows how much it means for alumni and lettermen and bringing former players back around the program. And then guys like Kevin Durant, him and his assistant, texted me the first year and like, hey, give me all the sizes. And 2 days later, I had 20 pairs of KDs at my front doorstep. Unreal. To get the brand new KDs that were unreleased.
That's cool.
And they just wanted to give back. So always a blessing, but very, very cool.
So American Entrepreneur LLC, we're doing one of the larger sponsorships, and we're going to be on the jersey here, but we're still looking for another large sponsor to come alongside as well. So if you're watching this and you have any interest or want more information, reach out to us because one part is the sponsorship, but the other part is, how do I leverage this to get more exposure, to improve my brand, to transact more? And so we want to come alongside anybody that does and help them accomplish those goals. And that's the whole thing with great partnerships like this is you get to work together to accomplish a goal. And in business, I mean, that's the name of the game, right? And so we're excited to work with you on this effort that you've got going on. You're doing a heck of a job with it. And so we're kind of coming to the end of our time here. I think they're going to get some bowls for you guys to take a look at here. I'm starting to get a little hungry, aren't you?
Yeah.
So we went over some great things today. We talked about the restaurant business. We talked about how to handle stress, some different strategies for you. We talked about the TBT. You guys tune in. We've got another 30 days to raise funds for this effort. And so give us a call so we can get you.
Deadline for the top 4 sponsors for
Top 4.
jersey production through Puma is at the end of May.
End of May.
But until we tip the ball off and start playing, we can get smaller sponsors. We have plenty of time before we print our shooting shirts. We have sleeves full of, you have dry cleaning business, roofing companies, dentistry offices, restaurants, you name it. If you want to be part of something fun, it's been really cool to build.
Let us know.
Awesome.
Let us know. Thank you guys for tuning in today. If you haven't voted for mayor yet, you got one more day to get it done, and hopefully get to enjoy some fiesta down there. It's coming. Oh, is it on the way?
We got some Bulls coming, Andrew.
Is it coming?
We got the Bulls coming. Okay.
The Bulls are coming. So
we want to show you guys.
let's keep you guys for just another moment and show you these bowls. You know, for me, I like to create my own bowl because I like really spicy. But I know a lot of people can't handle that same heat.
I can't do it.
I like it so spicy that I start to sweat. Because then I feel like I'm getting a workout, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm getting a workout in, you know? I got lunch and a workout.
And I'm the total opposite. I'm the total gringo white guy. I got the basic stuff.
You can't handle the heat?
I can't handle the heat.
What about you?
So.
Can you take some spicy?
I was born here in the Alamo City. I'm like an Asian cowboy. I'm more Mexican than I am Asian.
Yeah.
Like churros. Shout out Charles Barkley.
Yeah.
Al pastor, enchiladas, Cholula.
Oh man.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
I put sriracha in Cholula and hot sauce and everything. But like I said, like I love the Volcano Bowl, and it's such a great bowl.
That's what you had last time?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Is it pretty spicy? Is it pretty?
It's pretty spicy, yes.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're in Texas, so you can always go a little, take it up a notch.
Kick it up
Yeah.
a notch.
One of the cool things that Andrew, who's helping us run POKI Bowl San Antonio, has proactively pushed since we've had some ownership here is the employee bowls. And so we've been pushing these out. We value our All-Star team. They play such an essential team and our team's success. And they've been sharing some of their favorite recipes on their favorite insights and bowls. And so we've been sharing those on our social media platforms. If you haven't followed us, go follow us at POKI Bowl San Antonio on Facebook, on Instagram, and you can see some of those delicious bowls. We're trying actually to get you a couple bowls out here just so you guys can see them. I'm sorry? Oh, I mean if you're into fitness or you want to get better, summer's around the corner. You know, where people typically where I talk to folks about getting into better shape, one of the things they always say is, "Oh, I go to the gym. I work out." And one of the things that has been shared with me over the years, shout out to Lenny Walls, he used to play in the NFL, told me one day, you cannot out-train a bad diet. You can't. You can go to the gym, you can work out, but if your diet and nutrition is not on point, you will not receive the results you ultimately want to see. And so what we see here is nutrition is about 90% of getting into shape. The 10% comes from the gym and working out. And so we have some delicious options here. Everything's super fresh. Typically plated with some solid rice at the bottom, and then you can layer it with your favorite proteins. Yeah. If I'm looking at the 3 bowls right now, which option I'd probably prefer? I'd probably prefer this one. It doesn't have all the sauces. Okay, so Andrew knows me very well.
It's very clean.
There we go.
It has
Avocado.
What do you think of this one? That's good. I'm not a big corn fan though. I'm not huge on the corn personally.
Thank you. This would be the one that I would choose. This looks delicious. It feels delicious.
I'd probably
I'm
go with
probably going to
this
eat this bowl as soon as we get done with the podcast.
I like this one personally.
the shrimp bowl, which Minster has.
It's got mango in it, which, you know, a lot of people wouldn't put mango on their poke, but it tastes amazing. I really
It's
like
amazing.
it.
Like
Gives
I'm
that sweet.
a pineapple on pizza guy,
Yeah.
so I can totally roll with a mango on a poke bowl.
You could do mango? Yeah,
Yeah,
me too,
totally,
man.
totally.
Me too.
You a pineapple guy on pizza? Yeah, you rock with it. Okay, Carl.
I'll rock with it. You
Yeah.
know, it's not my
You know,
my first option, but I will do
The
it.
salmon bowl comes with a non-spicy mix marinade. Has the masago on top, mango, green onions, and the eye crab salad and edamame.
It smells delicious. Yeah.
Vince is holding kind of the deluxe, you know, just the guilty pleasure bowl.
Guilty pleasure.
It's going to be shrimp. It's going to be marinated in poke sauce with crispy onions, both inside the mixture and on top. It's got some seaweed salad, eye crab, cotto, of course, with the Masago as well.
And the cool thing is we're bringing Poke Bowls for breakfast in San Antonio. You can literally have this, start your morning off with the delicious.
And if you don't want to do the rice,
You can sub it out. Yeah, you can sub it out with veggies.
It's
Yeah.
like no carb almost. No carb. Or very, very low carb.
It's a green mix. Yeah, just lettuce. It's a green mix.
Green mix, and it's, man, then you got no carb, well, very few carbs in the whole thing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what a great option.
Again, delicious, healthy. Come check us out. And we're right here on Petrenko.
Also, too, worth mentioning, towards the end of this month, we're going to do some kind of big event here. Something cool. We're going to have some people out and do a big event. So stay tuned. We'll release some details.
Yeah, it's going to be on our social media.
We're going to do a big kind of grand opening deal.
Party. Yep.
What do you think, Vince?
I'm just staring at this bowl.
Good stuff.
What a way to kick off a weekend.
What a great
Friday,
kick off a month and a week.
month, week.
Fiesta.
There we
I
go.
mean, let's go.
Two great dudes, delicious poke.
Yeah.
Saul's running production
Saul
behind the
is the
scenes,
man.
the man behind the scenes. We got friends in the room.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
It's incredible. American Entrepreneur Podcast. Thank you guys for joining us today. Join us the first Friday of every month at 9 a.m. To hear some tips, strategies, hear from a local entrepreneur that's had a high level of success. Tune in and learn some things that can help you succeed in business, help you succeed in life, and come out and try this amazing poke when you guys get a chance, okay? We'll see you next time. Bye. All right, good stuff.